Yes, I am in bed. But yes, there's something about this anglerfish that we really need to talk about. What anglerfish, Shayna? Also, I'm going to cover this poor woman because she's in the middle of a deep sob, but I don't want to do that to her. So, you see this little guy right over here? This is a little anglerfish that has truly taken over the internet. And the story of, like, the lore of this anglerfish is that so these are like deep sea creatures. They live in the like darkest parts of the ocean where no light gets through, and they have that little hook, not the hook, there's like a little light that grows out of their forehead that's supposed to attract their prey, so that way they get as close to them as possible and they just right. So they're not supposed to be up to, this is the top of the ocean, there's air above this, right? So this anglerfish swam all the way from the depths of the ocean with an obscene amount of pressure, went straight all the way through everything, was not eaten in this process, somehow was not eaten through this process, and made it all the way to the top and then died. Now, a lot of people thought, oh, wow, when they heard, oh, the anglerfish, there's an anglerfish that made it all the way to the top of the ocean, which is incredibly rare. Seeing an anglerfish is incredibly rare generally, but seeing a live one making its way to that's near unheard of, right? And everybody thought, oh, when they saw pictures of the anglerfish, they thought it was like the size of a watermelon, the size of at least a volleyball. No, it could fit in the palm of your hand. This was a baby. So scientists are theorizing that this anglerfish was probably injured or was in the process of making its way to the other side and swam all the way up on its own as like in its final moments, used all the power that it had to swim all the way up and then passed. So obviously the girlies are in shambles. She finally saw a light she didn't have to make. And then it just kept going. In between the hundreds of sobbing videos that I've seen, young women and femmes sharing the story of this anglerfish to their friends, to their families, to their boyfriends, and then their families weeping over it, especially the moms, right? Art is being made. Short films. This needs to be sent to Pixar immediately. And this, if you have not seen this is a 2-part painting. The first part says, and for my last day, and then the next one is zoomed out a little bit and the anglerfish is closer to the breaking point. It says, I think I'll see the sun. There's 2 things that I want to say about this anglerfish, but first, hi. For those of you who are new here, my name is Shayna. I'm a journalist who talks a lot about decentering men and child-free living. If any of that sounds like vibe, please like, share, and subscribe. And I have a masterclass on freelance writing, so if you want to write for money, I will include a link here and below. And if you want any of the like more political stuff, please head over to my Patreon. And then the first of these 2 things. One, a lot of women and femmes are deeply relating to this anglerfish. I think that the concept of being so small and born into so much pressure, and then realizing, oh, I'm hurt, something is wrong, and I don't know if I have so much time. I am going to have to make a wild adventure for myself in these final moments. I think that this is a thing that a lot of people in general, but especially women and femmes, are deeply relating to. A little bit of lore about me, because in me talking about this, I'm realizing that I also very much kind of relate to this. So in 2017, no, for the entire year of 2018, I was paralyzed. It's not funny. I couldn't walk. I couldn't feel anything from my sternum down, and doctors didn't know if I would be able to walk again. It was a wild autoimmune situation. I eventually got a diagnosis, but nobody knew what it was for a really long time. And there was like months of nerve damage and like nerve pain. It was terrible. And I was like 23, I think it was like 24 at the time. Highly athletic. I played volleyball for years at the time, like the year before I graduated from Harvard. So I was just like, and it was an acting program. So I was in Moscow and I was doing performances and gymnastics and I was fencing and I was I was like learning broadsword. It was this whole thing. And then bam, paralyzed. So after all of that happens, and my doctors told me, Shayna, you have a full year. You have a full year to we'll see whatever your body is able to regain after 12 months. And whatever you get after 12 months, that's just what you're going to have. Movement wise, sensitivity wise, that's just what you're going to have. And we're going to work together to make sure that you never get another attack like this, because whatever you get will only get decreased after each attack. To which I'm like, cool, that's fantastic. So then after a year, I get the vast majority of my mobility back. I still have some there's still some nerves that never came back. So there's some feeling that I don't have in my legs. But for the most part, I'm doing great. But there was still this looming of, this could happen at any time. Shayna, you have to see the sun. So what did I do? I immediately got to work and moved out of the country. I bought myself a one-way ticket to a country that I'd never been to before and said, you know what, I'm going to figure it out. Because what if it's my last day? Because what if my waiting and wanting for another friend to reach the same mental space that I got into, we literally only have now. We literally only have today. And I want to feel a kind of joy that I've never felt before, in case this is I lived that chronically for truly more than a year, because there was so much that happened before that point that forced me to get to that point. When I say stress will literally eat you alive, stress made me paralyzed. Ladies, especially Black ladies, because we have the highest demographics of autoimmune diseases, because we harbor the most stress and we don't talk about it. Black ladies, let me be a story. Let me be a tale, so that way I do not become your experience. Get that stress under control. But anyway, the anglerfish, I resonate. But I also think that it's interesting in that, as deeply as I resonate, in learning more about the story of this anglerfish and how people are personifying it, I have not cried. It's more of I'm in my Black lady mind of, yeah, you do what you gotta do. This could be my last day. I'm going to just get it done. Not to say that I don't feel a way about it, but I think that there is something in our minds that just go, if it is my last day, there is a thing that I have to get done. And I resonate with this story that's being concocted about this anglerfish. I'm like, yeah, she had things that she had to do before she was not here anymore. Go off, queen. The way that I have consistently seen Black women work through the most terrifying and wild things and not break a sweat, not crack a tear, just because it's I've had to get things done. My mom has had to get things done. My great-grandma's had to get things done. Her great-grandma's. We just have to get things done, so we're just going to get it done. But here's the second thing. I have seen so many women who are in relationships with men weeping as they're trying to recount the story of this anglerfish, recounting why they are trying to explain why they have such a deep emotion for this. And the men that they are with consistently do not understand. The common response is, it's just a fish. You're crying over a dead anglerfish? Really? Empathy. Empathy is a skill. A lot of these men do not have never worked or don't work the skill of empathy, if they have ever at any point. This isn't to say that they need to be weeping and in a puddle about this anglerfish, but at least understand why this resonates with the person that you're with. And even if you don't understand why it resonates, at least try to emotionally be there as a support for somebody who is clearly going through something. Even if that something is a momentary experience of profound empathy for a fish. But I've seen video after video of women explaining this to a man. The man doesn't get it. The man tries to make a joke. The man disengages a little bit more, waiting for something to make sense. And then it never does to him. And then the video ends. And this is why 9 times out of 10, when a woman's heart is full, when a femme's heart is full, they will find another woman. Because in the very least, they can stand in that space with you. That's all I've got for today, but please share your thoughts below. Be safe out there.